Morning everybody and welcome back to Farming with Boise. Hope you're all well. If you could subscribe and smash the like button, that would be much appreciated. You can also follow me on Instagram at farming_with_Boise. Let's get farming. Right, hi everyone. So we are now back on the fertiliser spinner. We are running MOP at the moment, so just going to show you a quick little setup on how we do it. We run an older spinner. It's not quite isobus, our spinner, so we have to put a little conversion box in, which is hid down here somewhere. This little box here, and it's a sole steer box, so it's, yeah, it literally tricks the tractor into believing that there's an isobus implement on the back, so we can run variable rate through the screen here. So we've got a Horsch Quantron E box. It's plugged into there with a splitter cable in the back. It then runs into the tractor here, into the ISO socket for wheel impulse, and then the ISO socket there, 9-pin I believe, for isobus control. So we've loaded through the socket on the side of the John Deere here, we've loaded all of the prescriptions in on RX files. So as we pull up to the field, we go into the setting. You can see here it says RX. Controller rate would be just set as a standard rate, which is 150 kilos for if you go outside of the map area. We go into the field selections. You can see this is the last field I've done. Into here, it should bring up, the first one that it brings up will be the field closest to you. So it says that the distance here is 0 kilometers because we're sat in it. It's a field of winter barley. So you click on the field, click OK, and then you have to choose rate cal at the bottom. Click on that, click OK, and it brings up a map of the field. It tells you your minimum, your maximum, and then your outer range of what it needs to be. You press save, OK, and then we're in the field. So now you should be able to see there the rate's now changed to 134, which is the rate for this area. As we go across the field, you'll see the colours change in all different areas. There'll be different rates. So we'll start her up, rev the engine up to 540. That's 540 economy. Click the telemat down on the back of the spinner and click the telemat border so that it minuses 10% off of the thing. I've had to set this to plus 10% to get the map to paint. For some reason it won't paint if you have the plus 10% on the bottom on 0. So click start. Nothing will happen until we get going. Now she starts to paint as we start to move, and you can see on the veins now, hopefully the sun's not on them, but you can see on the veins now that they're opening up as we go across the field. So this is a field of winter barley. I believe it's called Bazooka. It was planted back end of September, beginning of October, I believe. Can't really remember now, lots happened since then. And yeah, it's a hybrid barley, so it goes on at a very low rate, a bit like the Clearfield oilseed rape that we put in. It's yeah, it goes on extremely low, and then it doesn't tiller until the spring, so it looks pretty patchy all through the winter. It was pretty wet when we drilled this field, as you can probably see along this headland here is all failed below the trees there. But on a whole, the field doesn't look too bad. It's not too bad at all. So this variety, we're not allowed to save the seed for this. Everything has to go. So we do home save seed, and we're not allowed to save any of this seed for ourselves for drilling next year. You have to buy new generation seeds every year. So everything has to go on the lorry and be sold, or if there's a little bit left over, a small amount, we'll crush that and feed it to our cows. So, but it's, yeah, on a whole, this field's not looking too bad for the winter we've had. The amount of rain we've had, I think it's not going to do too bad yielding wise. It's only, like I say, it's only just started to tiller, so it's got a ways to go yet. So everything around here is pretty steep. I think we've only got about 2 flat fields on the whole estate, or flattish. They've still got a slight slope to them, but makes for interesting work every day at least. So the rate now has gone up to 169 as we're going through this area. As you see the spinner come into the other green area, you should see it drop down, because it's a different kind of green. There you go, 134 again. So I typically travel at about 18k whilst doing the TSPs and MOPs. A little bit slower on the fertiliser, just because it's that little bit lighter and it doesn't throw quite so well at higher speeds, but still rattling along. Probably 16k on the 46% fertiliser, so you can soon get over the ground. So this is MOP that I'm putting on, as you probably saw in the shape file just now. So MOP stands for Muriate of Potash. So it's a straight. We do TSP, triple super phosphate, and MOP over the estate. So we've had SOYL in. They came in and mapped all the fields, took samples, and then did all of our recommendations for us to spread this season. We are doing, for the first time this year, we're doing variable rate nitrogen. We did start it last year, but we abandoned it part the way through just because the timings weren't quite right. We were a bit slow on the offtake of getting the files all sorted and everything like that, so we just needed to get on, so we just went for it in the end. Yeah, we're gonna be on variable rate fertilizer. We're trying to go variable rate seed, but the only problem is we've had wet autumns into the winters the past 2 years that we've been trying to do it, and we haven't been able to use the Horsch drill because it doesn't like the wet weather. We've been having to use the power drill a lot, so we haven't been able to do the variable rate seed so much, but we'll endeavour to get it done. Hopefully we'll have a nice dry autumn and we'll be able to get majority of it done. The worst thing with all these things is timing. When we've got to get on, we've got to get on, and we can't be hanging around waiting for, you know, shape files or be worrying about whether or not they're working or if they've loaded into the tractor correctly. So it will come, just when it's the right time, I think. So the MOP has got to go on over the whole farm. It's going, not every field has to have it, but most fields have a little corner or a part in the middle of the field, which ideally we would spread in the summer months, just after harvest, you could go into the middle of the field, then you don't have to worry about running every tram line just to get to the areas that need a little bit. But to be fair, when you're traveling at 18k, it doesn't take long to knock a field out.